Okay, now we are recording. So just based on the questions that you guys posted in Inspiration, it showed me that we have such a wide range of experience with Instagram. I mean, we have from like zero experience to, been using it for years. So we're going to take it slow. Like I said, I'm going to answer your questions and then we'll just kind of throw out questions and we can talk about, whatever it is that you're struggling with or whatever you need help with. So, okay, first of all, just let me say about Instagram. I love Instagram, you guys. I love Instagram way more than Facebook. It is my favorite social media. I feel like Instagram is just more welcoming. There's something about Instagram that's not intimidating. When you think about Facebook, I think it's scary to friend request someone because Facebook is often reserved for like immediate friends and family. And a lot of people are really private on Facebook, even though they post their whole lives. But a lot of people are really weird about accepting friend requests from other people. And that is not the same way on Instagram. Instagram is very open to following people who are not friends. They're, if you request someone who has a private account, it's not weird. They're just gonna be like, oh, well, let me check her profile out. Okay, yeah, she can follow me and I'll follow her or whatever it may be. There's no social awkwardness on Instagram, you guys. So you can go into Instagram and just be super confident in knowing that whatever you do, you're not going to rub someone the wrong way. And if you do, they'll just block you and it's not a big deal. Which sounds totally scary, but you guys, you don't know these people, okay? You've never met them before. You're never going to meet them in real life if they're over there blocking you. So don't even fret it, okay? And it'll happen. People will block you. And a lot of times it's not even you. I mean, I think I was talking to Rachel Smith not that long ago. We were talking about how someone like blocked her when they reached out to her. It's like, it just doesn't make any sense. So anyway, don't be afraid of Instagram is what I'm trying to tell you. Instagram is friendly. It's a great place to live and it's so not intimidating once you get used to it. So one thing that I really do love about Instagram, besides the fact that people are open to meeting new people, is that it's so visual. Like I'm a very visual person and I like to be able to click on someone's Instagram and look at their profile and get a feel for what they're like. Am I seeing their face on their profile? That is a huge one for me. I will not follow someone back typically if I don't see the person behind the account. If it's just a bunch of like, memes or pictures of other people, if it's like a picture of their kids, then I really start searching. I'm like, okay, are they not confident enough to post a picture of themselves? Or is it just like they haven't done it because they don't think about it? They're just posting their kids. Like there's a science behind what people are posting. If you haven't noticed that before, you'll find that the confident people, you can see their face on their profile. And those are the people that I want to work with. So just know who you are wanting to work with. And this goes back to what I talked about last week. So last week on the call, if you missed it, I talked about knowing your brand and creating your brand and knowing who you are and what makes you you and using that to attract other people to you. It's very important on Instagram that your pictures are showing those things. So, in addition to the pictures, we're going to talk tonight about how do you go out and find those people. And I feel like someone asked the question, how do you get your Instagram name out there? And this is something we're going to talk about a little bit. Ways that you can find followers, ways that you can engage with people that you don't already know. So, let's just talk about that first. So the question was, how do you get your Insta name out there? We're starting big, you guys. This is a big topic. We're going to go for it. So there are a lot of ways to get your name out there. One is hashtags, okay? So you can always use hashtags. You can use up to 30 hashtags on a picture. And someone asked the question, how do you get hashtags in the comments section? Have you ever done that where you post a picture and then you want to put your hashtags in the comments so that when they see the description of your picture, it's just not a bunch of hashtags? That's kind of an Instagram etiquette too. Like, see, Instagram's like a whole whole big thing, you guys. You can go off in so many different directions. So it's a good idea to put all of your hashtags in a comment. If you want to space it out so that it's not being seen, then you can put periods or dots or whatever you might need to put. And let me show you an example. So let me find something what I hashtagged here. Okay, so here, this is my post from last night, okay? I had this post in case you didn't see it. And then I put the wording. Oh, crap. There's all my wording. And then it says I have one comment. So I'm going to view my comment, and there's my hashtags. Can you see them? I put periods. There's periods, and then there's hashtags. The reason I put the periods in is because I don't want someone to immediately go to my picture and be like, oh, she's just trying to get a bunch of followers. Look at all of her hashtags. That's not the goal. My goal is to let people read what I'm writing. And then I use periods to space it out so that it kind of hides it hides it in the comments. Okay. It's basically like hiding your hashtags in your comments. And if you've noticed that on Instagram, it's hard to get those little dots on there because you have to do it just right. And the way that you have to do it is you have to push enter after the period. There can be no spaces after the period. So if you put a period and then there's a space and then you put enter, it will keep it all on the same line. You have to have enter after each period. So if you are struggling with that, go to the notes section on your phone. I use my notes section all the time. And I'll write out my post. I'll say, I'm having a great day. Okay. See, I need the app. There it is. If I put period, I need to put period and then enter, and then it'll go to the next line when I post it to Instagram. Okay. Enter again. So no funny spaces in there. If you put emojis, it's going to screw it up too. It's going to be kind of screwy, but you have to push enter right after the period. I see a chat. Because maybe people see it if it's in the comments, not on the post. I don't think as many people see it in the comments, which is, unless you like want them to see your hashtags, then I would include it in the post itself. So there are times when I'll hashtag like rep life or something like that, or Zaya active if I want to draw attention to Zaya. But if I don't want people to really be focusing on my hashtags, if I'm just wanting to get my post out there in Instagram world, that's when I use the hashtags in the comments. The hashtags are to put your picture out into Instagram world. So when you're on Instagram and you go to the search page, if you guys pull up Instagram, let's see, and you push the little search button at the bottom, it will pull up all these things. You can search hashtags. So if I would actually search the hashtag Zaya active, it's going to show me every single picture on Instagram. If I go under tags, I'm under tags right now. And if I push Zaya active, it's going to show me all of the pictures that anybody has ever taken on Instagram and used the hashtag Zaya active. So using hashtags is a really great way to get yourself out there so that if people are looking for you or for something that you have to offer, they're going to find it under your hashtag and they're going to see your picture and then they're going to want to engage with you and follow you. But if people follow the hashtag and it's in the comments, they still see it or not? Yes. So like if I put the hashtag in the comment, does that still tag my picture? Is that the question? Yes. It will still tag your picture. It will still bring that picture out into Instagram world, into the search feed. That's why you can use up to 30 hashtags, because that gives you more opportunities to get out into Instagram and more people can find you using a variety of hashtags. And hashtags are a whole other, I talked about this on the last call too. When it comes to hashtags, you want to use something that's not overly used. I mean, if you start typing in some hashtags, it'll pull up like 1 million or 700,000 people have used this hashtag. And the goal is to use more like the hashtags that are between 10 or 20,000 and like 70,000. The ones that are common, but they're they're not like crazy ridiculous, like over 1 million people have used the hashtag, because then your picture just gets kind of lost in the feed and they won't find you. Yeah. Any questions about hashtags? It's just to get your name out there, get your pictures out in search feeds. Okay. Honestly, you guys, in my opinion, this is the next topic I wanted to talk about, is that I don't feel like hashtags make or break my business personally. I feel like my business is built more on the followers that I gain from doing this next thing that I'm going to teach you guys. But I know some people are really good at hashtags. I feel like Rachel Smith is really good at them. She gets a lot of views from her hashtags. So we should probably get her on a call and have her just talk about hashtags, because I don't know what she does, but she's amazing at it and she has a ton of views from it. So there is a science to it and I'm not aware of it, but I'll teach you guys what I like to do to get followers. So, okay, knowing your brand and everything is clearly important, because like I said, that's what's going to help you attract people to you who are like you. So how do you find those people? When I'm on Instagram, let's see here. I'm going to find an account here. Think of the big time accounts that you follow. So I'm going to bring up, let's see here. Who have I searched lately? Oh, Ashley Malstead. She's like the #1 Beachbody coach, okay? And she's a total badass, like so cool and way too cool to be friends with me type of person. But she has 134,000 likes or followers, okay? So for one, she loves fitness. For two, I love her humor. She cracks me up. She's someone that I want to watch and I follow her, and she has a huge following. So if I'm going to go out and look for followers, a lot of times I'm going to check out her profile. I'm going to check out her Instagram. I'm going to search through her followers and see who is following her. Okay. And there are a few ways you can do this. So let's say I'm going to pull up this picture. Okay. She's on a postpartum journey, you guys. Postpartum fitness journey. Guess what? So am I. I'm also postpartum. That is something that I relate to. I feel like a lot of people who like this post are going to be people who can relate to me. Hey, funny, Chrissy from our team, Chrissy Freck liked it. So anyway, I'm going to go, it says that it was liked by all of those people. I'm going to click on that, and it brings me up all of the people who liked that post of hers. And you can see, check it out. Look at all those people that I'm already following. I'm already following so many of these people because I go to her posts and I look for people who are following her. And then what you do is you can literally go down the list and just say follow, 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 follow. And you can just request to follow as many people as you want. I think it's like they cut you off at like 30, maybe. I don't remember. But they cut you off at 30. Eventually they'll be like, you can't follow any more people right now. So that is how I find a lot of my followers. If they follow me back, I write them down and I'll connect with them later. I'll send them a message. Hey, how are you doing? Hope you have a great day. And we go from there. Now, obviously, this attracts a lot of Beachbody coaches, you guys. I'm not going to lie. A lot of Beachbody coaches, but a lot of other people that aren't Beachbody coaches, which is really cool. And I found a lot of really good connections when I do this. And I feel like I find people that I really relate to. So I found a post by someone who I like, someone who I follow, someone who I feel like has something in common with me, which is a postpartum journey. I go to her picture that shows the postpartum journey, and then I'm going to the people who liked it, and I'm just going down the line, and I'm hitting follow, 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 follow. Okay? Does that make sense? Any questions about that? That's one way to do it. I feel like that's a really great way to find targeted people who really have something in common with you, because like I said, I'm going to this specific picture, and this specific picture tells a story to me. And if someone is relating to that story, they probably relate to me too. So there's one way to do it. You can also go up to just their followers up at the top. It says followers. You can also just go up there and follow people, but I find that it's not quite as targeted, because I don't know about you guys, but I get a lot of weirdos that try to follow me like men from Europe. I'm like, nope, sorry. And I'm sure that these other people get that too, you know? So you just have to be careful. But I find that if people are actually engaging on their profile, they're actually active on Instagram, which means that I want to talk to them and I want to get to know them because they're not just a blank person out there randomly liking things. So,
do you track if they follow you back? Like,
I
how
didn't,
do you
I did
track
not
that?
used to, but I started doing that just like this week because I'm trying to pay closer attention to my Instagram following because I want to build more on Instagram. So I've started writing down people who follow me back. But one thing that I will say, and this leads into the conversation of STEM. And Nicole, I know you asked, like, do you use STEM? What do you think of it? Do you like it? And my answer is yes. I believe it is worth it. I think that it is, let me look at my followers. I'm at 3,365 followers. And I'm pretty sure when I started, I had like 600. So I've gained over 3,000 followers, almost 3,000 followers in like 3 months or whatever it's been. So yes, Emma says worth it. STEM, Kimberly, it's actually like, what do you call it? Like a third party tool that goes in, you link it to your Instagram. And then what you do is you set up accounts to have it follow for you. So I just showed you guys that I go to, like, say I would go to Ashley Molstead on my own. I'm going to pull her back up. Say I would go to her and I would do that whole thing. I'd say follow, 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 follow. STEM does it for me. So I just put in STEM. Okay, I want Ashley Molstead as one of the accounts that I want you to follow. And STEM will go in and follow and unfollow people for you to build up your account. One of the things about Instagram is the goal is to have more followers than people you are following. That's kind of like if someone comes to your Instagram and they see it and they're like, oh, she's following 6,000 people but only has like 1,000 followers, they're going to know that you're just out to get followers and they're probably not going to follow you back. They're not going to see any value in that. But if they see like, oh, she's got more followers than people she's following, well, people must think they must like her. They want to, check it out. So it just gives you like almost more credibility in the Instagram space if you have more people following you than people you are following. But STEM does a really good job of that for you. And Kimberly, STEM offered Zaya a discount on Zaya Reps, a discount on their program, which is why I even started. I didn't even know what it was. And they offered us a discount. And does anybody know what it is? I think it's like STEM Social / Zaya.
Yeah, or / Zaya Active.
/ Zaya Active, maybe. We'll put that in the chat and someone can maybe click on it and we can check. But see what that takes you to. But they gave us a special. So it is like 19 or 20, like $20 a month. But I think that that's something that has actually been huge for me. I've added a ton of people to my VIP group lately, and I've had a lot of conversations about repping. I think I've added one rep from STEM so far that I probably wouldn't have found otherwise. But it's awesome. It's like bringing targeted leads to you. It's like bringing your people to you without having to go in and do the follow, unfollow thing, which is awesome. So, you have to have, okay, first of all, before I move on to this next thing, do you guys have questions about that? STEM or going in or anything like that?
I have a question. When you are following, like, are you targeting individuals or will you also follow, like, if you know somebody's, like, I was just doing it and there was somebody, it was like Tiffany Fit Mom. Like, I kind of have an idea she's probably like in direct sales or whatever. Do you still follow them? Or do you like only follow like small accounts? Or are you only following like individual people? Do you have any kind of system for that? Or
for me, I don't follow anybody with a ton of followers. Like if they have a couple thousand, that's kind of my cap usually. I don't really usually go over that. Just because I want to keep it smaller. I want it to be someone who's like a real person and not just out to get followers type of thing. So that's my general rule of thumb, but the smaller the better, to me. Like if it's like in the 500 range, that's always a good sign that they're active, but they're not, I don't know. They're not too big.
Gotcha.
And then, yeah, and I don't really, I do individuals. I mean, I don't think I try not to follow too many businesses unless it's like of personal interest to me, but okay. Any other questions about STEM or like follow
That
on
is not the right stem. I just tried it on my phone.
Okay. Is it?
I'm looking for the newsletter.
I was going to say, I know it's in an email somewhere, so it's not a big deal. I just tried to type it in because I had thought about doing that again, and so I need to figure out what it is.
I think it takes some time to play with too. A combination of giving it time to work and then also being willing to try new things and try new accounts, because I know when I first started it, I've changed a lot since then. Like accounts that I thought would get me a lot of followers back was getting me like nothing. And I was like, okay, that's good to know, So I think there's a training video too. I don't know if it's on their site or on their YouTube, but it kind of tells you a little bit more about how to find your people, to follow. So I watched that and I felt like that was really helpful. And I'm pretty sure it was either they sent it through the email to us or it was on their site. But I would definitely watch that. Just gives you some tips on how to use it. And again, I'm not even probably using it to the fullest potential. I just use it for the follow, unfollow thing. And then, you can like have it DM people for you, or like, I don't know, which is fine.
I would say my experience is that you don't want to have it automatically DM people, because I get those messages and they're not personalized because they just pull your username in.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I'm like, okay, obviously you don't even know who I am. And then it's just like super, I don't know. They're not very personalized, I would say.
I agree for sure.
Can you personalize them though? Like, so like I just followed somebody like just now, and she immediately messaged me and just said, "Thank you so much for the following support. I really appreciate it. Love your feed." Like, I know that's probably an automated message, but it still wasn't super salesy. It was just like, "Hey, thanks for the support." Like, that might be okay. Do you know, can you like customize it? Or
I think you can.
I think you can too.
And I think that they still do the free, like, I think it was Kimberly that asked about it. You can do like 30 days free, I think, with the Zaya thing too. Because honestly, that's all I ever did. And then it was like a month before I was going to have him. And I had so many new followers that I didn't ever pay for it because I was so behind on catching up with the people that it had like processed for me, that's why I never signed up for it, because I needed to catch up with what it did do for me. So
it helps a lot. And it just, like, I think Emma, you said this too. It's like, it's just an easy way to outsource something. It just takes one thing off your plate. You don't have to worry about building your following because it's doing that for you. It's really nice. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a ton of time in my day.
I know.
Because I work full time and all sorts of stuff. So to be able to not worry about that and just focus on building the relationship once they follow me, I'd rather spend my time on that.
Yes, I totally agree. Okay. Are we good with that? Any other questions, you guys? I'm trying to remember where I was going to go with it next. STEM, getting followers. Oh, I was going to let you guys know. Okay, so I said that just common on Instagram is to try to make sure that you have more followers than people who are following you. And there's an app that you can download, and I'm sure there's multiple out there, but this is just the one that I have always used before STEM. I don't really use it anymore, but it's called Cleaner, and it's right in the middle there. I don't know if you can see it. Cleaner. The pretty one, the rainbow one. And what you can do is it'll sync to your Instagram, and then you can go in and it'll show you everybody who's not following you back. And so if you download that app, you can go in there and you can say, they'll show you, okay, these people aren't following you back. and you can unfollow them because you don't need to follow them if they're not following you. Who cares? So it just allows you to make sure that you are unfollowing the people who aren't engaging with you anyway. And I think it lets you do 50 at a time, I believe. So that's a really nice tip.
Stim, or that one, I guess, but it doesn't delete followers that follow you, right?
Stim does sometimes.
It does. So how is there a way to make sure that doesn't happen or not?
I think so. I don't know how to do it.
Like if it's like family, you know what I mean? The ones you want to keep for sure.
If you follow them, it will not unfollow them.
Oh, okay.
It follows accounts that it follows for you.
Okay. That's what I wasn't sure.
Yeah. And actually, I'm glad that I track it because I'll have good conversations going with people, and then Stim will unfollow them for me, and I'm like, oh crap. But at least I have them in my DM so I can still message with them. But then it's awkward because I'm like, should I follow them on my own now? Because I don't know. So that's something I've been playing with a little bit. So just beware that if you are having a good conversation with someone, definitely write it down because Stim may unfollow them and then they might be gone. So keep track of that stuff. But yeah, so that is a good app if you are trying to get people to unfollow people. It's called Cleaner. Hashtags. Oh, let's talk about linking your Facebook and Instagram. Okay, this one. So I have done a lot of playing around with my social media since I started with Zaya. At first I just kind of did what I'm doing now. I had one account, then I switched and I had it linked to my shop on Facebook. Then I started a whole new Instagram with just Zaya and just personal stuff. And I had my Zaya account linked. And at the end of the day, after all of this linking and unlinking and trying to figure it out, I had one sale. And she's actually she's on our team. It's Alyssa. She watches this. But I had one sale, and I personally I think with the way that I market, I don't feel like it matters if I tag my stuff or not. Because I use relationship marketing, I'm not talking product all the time. And so for me and my personal brand, I don't feel like linking is make or break deal. I know some people love to have their stuff linked. They like that they can just tap the photo and go straight to their shop. That's all personal preference. And I know that Instagram and Facebook are kind of giving people a hard time about that right now. So if you can't get it linked, don't worry about it. It's not the end of the world. Like I said before, you are your brand. So the goal is to create those relationships with you and to get people to know you. So if they're not going to your shop every day or checking out your outfit every day on your Zaya website, I think that's okay. But obviously still talk about it. So it's tricky, but I honestly, there's just so many ways to do it too. There's not really a right or a wrong way. That's just my personal preference. I don't feel like it's a make or break deal. How often do you post? So Instagram, social media kind of goes through funks. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but it used to be that you had to post 3 to 5 times a day to get out in the newsfeed. And you had to post at high volume times in order to be seen. So for example, for me, when I started using Instagram for business type stuff, I had to post 3 to 5 times a day. One post had to be in the morning around 8 o'clock in the morning. The next one had to be around lunchtime. And the next one had to be between like 7 and 8 o'clock at night. And I put so much pressure on myself to make sure that I was getting those posts out there at the high traffic times. I think it does help if you have an important post that you post it in the evening. I think that posting usually around 7 or 8 o'clock, probably your time zone, is a good time. A lot of people tend to be online at those times, and that's when people see things usually. So I think that if you have something important that you want to say and that you want to be seen, then definitely make sure that you're getting a post out there in the evening. First thing in the morning is always a good one too. I think people, I don't know what they're doing at work. People get to work and they check their phone. I don't know what they're doing. Or I guess I'm a stay-at-home mom, so my market's stay-at-home mom. So their kids are all at school and they're checking their phones. But keep that in mind when you do your posting. You know, not all of your posts have to be at a certain time of day, but definitely if you have something important, make sure you're posting it at the high traffic times, you know, the times when people are online, they're scrolling their phones, and then you have a better shot that they're going to see what you post. So as far as how many times a day or how often, now from what I'm hearing, it sounds like you only really need to do like one really solid post a day or even every other day. It's not quite so demanding in that you have to constantly be posting. But I do think that change has come about because of stories. And I think a lot of people use stories to show behind the scenes, you know, what you're doing in your everyday life. And stories are kind of where all of the action is taking place these days, which is why they only suggest like 1 to 2 solid posts a day. If it's bringing value, you know, 2 posts is good or whatever. But I think that it's kind of nice to not have that pressure of having to post so many times during the day to be seen in the feeds. With stories, anyone having issues with only being able to record 4 stories at a time? No. Like, what do you mean? Like
So like when you hold down, because now you can just record continuously.
Yeah.
And I used to be able to just like ramble. And now I can only get, like, I will keep talking and it will keep recording, but it cuts off any videos past 4.
Oh, you know what? I think I have noticed that. I haven't done any long stories for a long time, but I feel like I had that happen to me when I was doing my workout video one. I wonder if they changed that.
I don't know. They might have.
Okay, Rachel, I have a newbie question.
Okay.
You're done with that. Stories. I've done 1, I think.
Woo woo.
So, like, I know. I'm looking at yours right now. Yours is just about your everyday life, right? Like, I'm seeing farm equipment. I'm seeing, like, you just randomly throughout the day, just, like, peek into what you're doing.
Basically, yeah. And I didn't do anything this afternoon, and I was like, uh-oh. Like, I should have posted this afternoon. Not that it really matters, but, you know, it's I feel really good when I'm consistent with my stories. And I feel like, because it constantly brings your little story up to the front of the feed. And I heard, do you guys know who Brock Johnson is? Shalene Johnson's son. He did a thing on Instagram like a long time ago. And he said at the time that the goal was to have a story out there every 2 hours. So whether it's just like a picture of what you're doing or a little boomerang of where you're at, or, you know, maybe you pop in and talk to your followers for a little bit. But the goal is to be able to have your little icon popping to the front of the stories, you know, consistently throughout the day, so that people remember you, you're on their radar, and that you are there and they see you. Obviously, I haven't been very consistent about that, but I think that's a really good tip. And I think that that's something that actually isn't that hard to do. You just have to remember to do it, because it's not going to take that much time to just pop up your phone and do a boomerang of what your kids are doing. You know, it's easy, and it takes about 30 seconds to do that and put a little caption on it and then post it to your story. With stories, like I said before, it's really about giving people a peek into your life. And it's kind of it's a good way to get personal with your followers. You know, that's the time that you can talk to them. You can, they can kind of see your personality a little bit more. You know, if you are posting pictures and writing out descriptions, obviously they read that and they get to know you a little bit. But I mean, just even us sitting here and having this conversation, it's like talking to your friends, right? And that's how it's supposed to make them feel like you're connecting with them in that way. And so when you're talking to your story, just one tip that I heard that I try to do a lot is speak, like when you're talking to them, say you, not you guys, talk like you're talking to one person, because then it makes them feel like you're talking to them. So instead of being like, oh, what are you guys doing today? I'm doing this. I'd be like, I don't know what you're doing today, but this is what I'm doing. You know, the difference between you guys and you. It just makes it more personal. It makes it feel like you are having a conversation with them. And that creates that connection with them as well. Stories, you can also use hashtags on stories, you guys. I don't know if you knew that. But you can use, I believe, up to 10 hashtags on a story. And one thing that's cool is that, hold on. Okay, I'm going to take a picture. Say cheese. Oh my gosh, look at us. Okay, so here you are. You all look beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna put a couple hashtags on here. Hashtag rap life. Hashtag, I don't know, whatever. Hashtag.
I took a picture earlier, so hopefully nobody cares.
Nope, that's good. I was gonna take one. So what you can do, I just put 3. You can actually put up to 10 hashtags on there though. And what you can do is you can just slide it off your screen. If I can get my, oh crap. You can just take it and like slide it off. Gosh, I'm not going to get it off the corner. Mine's not hidden all the way. But you can hide it all the way. And then that puts your story out into the hashtag feed, even though it doesn't show the hashtags on there, which is kind of nice because then people aren't like, oh, she's just trying to get a bunch of followers. It's like, no, I'm just trying to like, yes, I am trying to get people to see my story, but there, I got it off the other corner. So even though it's not on there, it's still hashtagged, you guys, and it'll go out into a story, the story feeds. I actually feel like I get more views on, I probably get more people who view my stories when I use a hashtag on my story than I use when I use hashtags on my photos. Like I feel like it brings more people to me than when I do it the other way, because it's easy to go in there and be like, if you look at your story, it'll tell you how many views you have from the hashtag itself. Does that make sense? So like if you do a story, you go in, you can see who's watched your story. And on top of being able to see who's watched it, it'll say hashtag views or whatever it'll say. And then it tells you how many people are seeing that just from the hashtags, which is kind of cool because it gives you a little bit of insight to like, hey, people are actually seeing this, which is kind of nice. So I'm gonna post this quick. Team call. Look at us. Okay. What else about stories? What questions do you guys have? Oh, someone asked about engaging on your story. Let me find something here. And I'll show you this little
Do you always need to have something that's engaging on your story? Like, do you always have to put like the poll or the, like question or anything like that? Or can you just put like, or should you just put like a picture or something?
I think both is good. Just a variety of both. Okay. I think I was going to say polls are good to do. It's like, it's fun to connect with your followers when you do polls, but it's also good to just like throw a picture out there too. So like I was trying to get her to smile today and she wouldn't take a picture. So if you swipe up, you get all of these things now. Like a Snapchat. Poll. Someone asked today, how do you get to change? Come on. It says yes and no. I can't see it, but it says yes and no. All you have to do is click on there and then you can type in what you want it to say. I could be like, absolutely, ! Or not a chance, instead of just yes and no, like kind of spruce it up a little bit. Can you see that now? So it's really easy to do. All you have to do is click on there and you can change it to say whatever you want it to say. And then if you want to get rid of it, you just like grab it and drag it to the little trash can. Let's see what else is on there. I've never done the music one. I know a lot of people do the music stuff. I've never done it. I should try that sometime. Questions. This is a good one. You can say like, ask me a question. And then they can write you questions. And I think it was Blair that Blair sells, I think. She's the one who said, like, you can totally BS this. She's like, if you want people to ask you questions or you want to give answers, put this on there and then just type in your own responses and then you can share that. And she's like, if nobody responds, who cares? No one's going to know. Just go in and write your own responses and then share them. Like, makes you look like you're super active and engaged, and you have tons of people who are engaging with you. And it's so true. I've never done it, but I thought that was a great tip. Why not? What else about stories are you guys wondering? Definitely not a professional at them, but I have some ideas. This one's a good one too. I like this one. Like, oh, how cute is this? And then people can swipe. That's a good one too. I like doing those from time to time because then you can see who's not only just following and like clicking through, but they're actually taking the time to like engage with you, which means that they feel connected to you in some way, which is really cool. Because that's the whole point, is to be social on social media and connect with people. What else? Okay, I'm going to look at my notes and you guys let me know what else you're wondering about. Oh, IGTV. Sorry, I don't know if I was going to interrupt anybody, but IGTV is a new one. It's one that I'm trying to incorporate more of because from what I hear, Facebook or Instagram is really rewarding people who are using all facets of Instagram. So whether you're just, they want you to post to your profile, they want you to use your stories, and they want you to do IGTV as well. The cool thing about IGTV, you guys, is that you can reuse stuff all the time. And going live is good. So like, for example, the other day I went live and I said, what is it that I actually do as an activewear rep? Okay. I went live. That put a preview into my feed. I let it put a preview in my feed. And then I actually downloaded it after I was done, before I saved it. I downloaded it to my phone. I uploaded it to YouTube. And now I have that on my YouTube channel. So if anybody finds it, they can see it there. I also posted it to Facebook. So then again, I did that one live and it got on 3 different social media platforms. So any video that you do, this is something I've been doing a lot of lately, save it. Any live that you do in a party, any live that you do in your team page, whatever it is, save it, upload it to YouTube, upload it to your IGTV, and you have content everywhere. And that's just a really easy way to get yourself out there and to get people to, see your content on 3 different platforms, which is amazing. Do you have an IG business account? Oh, wait, hold on. I'm missing one. Emma says, I heard a good tip on podcasts. Instead of sharing a post to your story, talk about what you posted about to create some interest and drive people to your profile. That is a great idea because it's so easy to just hit that little share button and it shares your post to your story, and then people can click on it in your story and go to the post. But more often than not, I'm sure people just click through because they're like, oh, who cares? It's just a picture. But if you actually talk about it, then that's going to create that interest, and then maybe they'll want to go read it. That's a really great tip, Emma. I love that. A business IG account. Nicole, I recently changed it to a personal account just because, like I said, I'm working more on building relationships with people. And so I don't want to lead with my business, but you can do either way.
And you're able to just take that business account and then just change it right to a personal and then flip flop it.
Yeah. I changed it to a personal account. And then actually one thing that's cool, I don't know how it happened. I don't know if it's because it was linked previously, but it will still let me post to my business account on Facebook if I want to.
Gotcha.
But I will say one thing is that if you want to make sure your post gets views on Facebook, you have to copy and paste what you posted on Instagram and then go in separately and post it to Facebook. Because sometimes Facebook won't reward you if you post it from Instagram to Facebook, if that makes sense.
Yep, it does. I've heard that before.
Yeah. I'm still playing a lot with social media, you guys. With my Instagram, I did have a business account for a long time. I just went to a personal account and I actually just changed it to private because that's something that Zaya recommends doing in our company files. I don't know if you've ever read that before, but it's something that I've seen from day one. And I always was like, I don't understand. Why do they want us to have a private account? But now it makes sense. And it's because they don't want to oversaturate Instagram. So I don't know about you guys, but if you search Zaya on Instagram, don't you find like all the same stuff? Everybody's posts looks the same. Everybody, it seems like, it's just, everybody's doing the same thing. And so Zaya's goal for having a private account is to keep the creativity to each person and to create that individualized approach, for each rep. I'll probably go back public one day. I don't really know, but for right now, I'm keeping it private, and I really like it because STEM is still driving people to me. And then it does take some extra time, but like right now it says from STEM, it says I have 100 new requests for people to follow me. I'll actually go through that and I can get rid of the weirdos. Like I was saying, like the European men who try to follow you. And then, I'll confirm any girls pretty much, I'll confirm. And then if it's someone who it looks like I might connect with, I'll open up their profile and I'll write their name down so I remember them. And then later on, I'm going to go and I'm going to connect with them and I'm going to start building a relationship with them. So yes, there's pros and cons to having a private account and a public account. But for me, like I said, I'm working really hard on building relationships with people on Instagram. So I like having that private account because it puts their name in front of me and it allows me to go write their name down and say, okay, I'm going to connect with this person at a later date. Because otherwise you can get so many people following you and you never connect with them, and you could have these amazing leads, but you never go back in and talk to them because you just have too much going on and you didn't even see them. So that's all personal preference though. I mean, seriously, you guys, there is no right and wrong way. You just have to find what works for you and what you like. What exactly do you say when someone follows you that gets good conversations? Emma says, hey, Jane, just stopping by to say hello. How are you? Hope you are having a wonderful day. Yes, that's what I say too, Emma. So, yeah. And the reason that that's what I say is because I know that this feels unnatural to people. And this is something that I've talked to a lot about with my first line girls is, when you're making that connect with someone, and that's what I say. Hey, how are you? Hope you're having a great day. That is something that's super generic, and it takes no time for you to think of that. You can literally copy and paste that to anybody, but it's not like, thanks for the follow. I'm a mom of 3 and I have a business selling activewear. What do you do? Like that's kind of like icky. It's just like making someone's day, The goal when you're talking to someone, for me anyway, is I go out and I try to make their day. And I forget the statistic I showed you guys like 3 times. Is it like 70% of people won't respond, or is it 50%? I don't know. Some ridiculous response. There's some ridiculous response rate. Like 70% of the people won't respond. And then of the people that do respond, only like 50% of those will turn into an invite. And I could have totally butchered those numbers. But the long story short is that say you message 10 people, only like 3 people might turn into an invite one day. You see what I'm saying? You could invite them to be a rep, join your VIP group, ask them to host. But most of your conversations aren't going to lead to something. And that's okay. It's just creating that connection, planting that seed, going out there and making their day. And one thing that I've talked about with some of my first line girls is they're like, that feels weird. It feels weird to go out and be like, just stopping by to say hi, how are you? Have a great day. And it might feel weird at first. And this is something that I've learned from being coachable, you guys. I was not coachable on this 2 years ago. I was not. I would not do it. I would not send anybody this message. I would sit down, I would look through their profile, and I would find something to connect with them about. I'd be like, oh, they have kids. I'm going to ask them about their kids. Oh, they have a dog. I'm going to ask them about their dog. But you know what I was doing? Wasting a ton of time. Because then I just tell you guys that how many people are not going to respond to you? A ridiculous amount of people are not going to respond to you, and that's okay. So asking them how they're doing, hope you have a great day, that's so easy. It takes no time. I don't have to think of anything to talk to them about. And if they respond back to me, then I go to their profile and I look at what they're all about and I go check them out. And then that's when I start the conversation. And that's when I start making those connections with them on a more personal level. So that seriously is the best conversation starter. I don't care if it feels awkward. Do it until it doesn't. It is so good, you guys. It works. I swear. Just ask them, how are you doing? How is your day? Have a great day. Boom. Response. Or not. But either way, it's a good one. I hear typing. Any other questions about that and connecting with people? I could go on and on all about connecting, you guys. I'm taking boot camp right now about connecting with people. I'm learning, again, all these things. Okay, does anybody? All right. I think I covered pretty much all the questions that we had in, I'm trying to look at our answers or our Facebook page. I answered all the ones I think from that were posted previously, but do you guys have any other questions about Instagram and basics even or anything like that? Okay, so Kimberly says, so then what is the conversation look like from there? Does it flow semi-naturally from there? This makes me feel awkward thinking about how awkward it will be. Kimberly, it's so true. It will be awkward sometimes, and that's okay because you're just going to get through it, and then it's not awkward anymore. Like, it's going to become like the back of your hand. It's going to be so easy to talk to these people. But so, for example, okay, so let's say I start a conversation with someone. Actually, I have like the perfect conversation going on right now. It's this girl that I went to college with. I haven't talked to her for like since college. So feels like a whole new lead to me. But I said, hi, how are you? Hope you have a great day. She responds back. Then I start asking her questions about herself. Typically, I follow the FORM format. So FORM is an acronym. FORM stands for family. Ask her about her family. I saw you had a baby. How are you guys doing? How are you adjusting? Once we talk about family, if the conversation isn't flowing naturally, these are just some things you can ask about. Occupation. So what do you do? What are you doing now? My favorite one to ask after I ask them what they do is I say, do you enjoy it? That is a great starter for getting deeper into, do they even like what they're doing with their business? Do they have a need for this business opportunity right now? So I'll say, do you enjoy it, or how do you enjoy it? And then, a lot of times it'll be like, oh, it's okay. Like, oh, well, what's just okay about it? And I mean, I will dig into these questions because that helps me to gain that connection with them and to really actually get to know them. And so family, occupation. R is for recreation. Have you been on vacations lately? A great one. So easy to talk about. Then they'll be like, no, I need a vacation. Oh, well, let me tell you, you can earn a free vacation. No, I'm just kidding. I don't go right into that. But I mean, these are such easy pain points get brought out when you start talking about these things: family, occupation, recreation. And then M stands for motivation. And it's just, through all those, you can usually find those pain points and find what motivates them and what's driving them, and maybe why they're not making a change or why they need to make a change in their life. So, not every conversation, you guys, is going to go that way. They're not all going to lead to building that relationship and finding those pain points. A lot of times, they're not going to trust you enough to talk to you about that stuff, and that's okay. It just means that you're planting the seed with them, you're connecting with them, and you're leaving that conversation hopefully having made their day. And when they think of you, they think positive things. That's just the goal, is that they just think positively about you, so that when you write their name down, if they respond to you, you need to write them down. You have to track your business somehow, you guys. And if you write their name down, write the date that you connected with them. Maybe if they just come back with, they'll say this a lot. I'll be like, how are you? Hope you have a great day. Be like, I'm good, thanks. You too. Or just, I'm good. Or even just a thumbs up emoji, For one, you could get discouraged and be like, oh, they're not talking to me. But do not get discouraged because they responded to you. Okay. That means that they connected with you in some way. So write them down, come back to them in like 2 or 3 months. And then the next thing you're going to say to them is, oh, I haven't checked in with you for a while. How are you? I hope things are going great. Super simple. Just again, how are you? Hope things are going great. And if they see you connecting with them again in 2 to 3 months, they're going to be like, oh yeah, well, maybe I should look at her profile again. They're going to pull up your profile. They're going to see what you've been doing. And then they're going to come back and maybe respond a little bit more this time. So relationships take time. And you just have to remember that hopefully you're in this for the long haul. And so those seeds that you're planting now are going to hopefully be harvested. It might take a year, you guys, for some people. It might take a week. It could take 2 days. It could take seriously 6 months, a year. I mean, I cannot tell you. I mean, let's see. Emma, I was talking to you for a long time. Emma and I stayed connected for a long time before she joined.
It was like a year.
Girls like that. Was it a year? It
wasn't quite a year. It was
almost.
Oh gosh, it was almost a year though.
I felt really bad because you were one of my first parties and it bombed. And I was like, oh no. Like, I really like her. I bombed her party.
It happens.
We stayed connected. So, yes, like I said, connections take time, you guys. And just that's something that you can be doing every single day to move your business forward. I mean, that is an income producing activity in my mind because you are making those connections. And that's how you're going to go out there and you're going to find your hostesses. You're going to find people to join your team. You're going to find people to join your VIP group. Is by making those connections, because I don't care how many times you post to your Instagram or your Facebook or whatever it is, people just don't come to you. They just don't. They're too scared to say something, or, the ones that do, that's awesome. They're usually ready, but a lot of people want to connect with you first and get to know you and hear how genuine you are before they want to commit to something or even learn more about it. So don't be afraid to give it time. Take time. That wasn't really Instagram related, but it kind of is because we connect with people on Instagram. So that should be a whole other call, shouldn't it? Recruiting or like signing up people or connecting, meeting new people. It's kind of what I talked about with my first line a couple weeks ago. But okay. What other questions do we have? Anything you guys are dying to know or wondering about, or?
You're using Instagram mainly to connect with people, but you're still running all your parties on Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay. And
I'm not opposed to Instagram, but
do you find people like don't want to come from Instagram to Facebook to do the party, or has that been pretty seamless?
Well, right now I'm in a position where I'm trying to not book so many hostesses. So I haven't really had to like ask them that question directly from Instagram. Gotcha. But usually what I'm having is the people who are interested, I'm plugging them into my VIP group, and I have had no issues with that. Going from Instagram to Facebook. Only
a Facebook VIP group. You don't have an Instagram one?
I don't. I started with one, but I just couldn't keep up with both of them. And
yeah.
It's like, I got to put my time somewhere. So I keep it with Facebook. But are you guys using Hostess rewards, like VIP rewards links at all with your customers, your returning customers? Like create an event for them and then send them the own personalized link. And then they can shop under their own link and earn their own rewards. I've got a lot of girls actually that started doing that. And it kind of sucks for me because then my rewards go down. But I love it because it really what do I want to say? Like it creates that loyalty to you. They become your loyal customer because they know that if they buy through their link with you, then they're going to get rewards for that. And that's kind of the thing about Zaya is that people jump reps a lot, which is okay. We're kind of in this new building phase of Zaya, and like I've noticed, like I'll have customers that have bought from me a couple times and then they're like, oh yeah, I got this jogger from this other party because my friend was having one. And then you're like, dang it. But if you can create an event in your back office for them, send them their link. They'll share that with family and friends, some of them, or they'll just buy their own stuff under their own link and then they can get their own rewards. And that actually works out really well. It does create that loyalty, which I like. Plus, if they get enough rewards, you could always be like, hey, did you want to use your credit towards signing up as a rep? Just saying. I mean, I don't think I've had anybody do that yet for my VIP girls, but it starts a conversation. So that's always good. Okay, do we have any other questions? I'm thirsty. I talk a lot.
I think it's a VSCO app. If you're like trying to edit photos, like, I don't know, I always have terrible lighting when I go to take a photo, so I always have to bump the exposure up to make them like brighter. And that's the best app I have found to edit photos. It's super easy.
What is it called?
It is the VSCO app. It looks like, ooh, it's that one. It's like a white camera lens.
Okay, that's good to know. I like Lightroom for whatever.
I think it's very similar. I don't think I ever figured out Lightroom. This one was easier for me to figure out.
That's always good. Easy is good.
Yeah.
I know. I was thinking that too. I need to make a list of apps that I use because I get questions on that a lot. Excuse me, on like what apps you use for photo editing or making graphics and that kind of thing. So I'll try to make a list if I think of it and just post that in our Trello or whatever. And you guys are you guys all in Trello or boards right now?
Yeah.
Okay. One thing about that is if you invite people like to join us, you know, if you have a new rep or someone that signs up, make sure you have them click it a couple times because I've had a couple girls tell me they're like, I can't get in. I'm like, try it again. And then they get in. So I don't understand why that is. But just make sure they click on it a couple times. Make sure they can access it. Okay. It said link expired. Yeah, try it again. Did you try it multiple times? Is it Donja Lee? Is that how I say it? Yes, try again. Yeah, try it again, Kimberly. I don't know why. I don't know why.
I had to try mine like 3 or 4 times before it worked.
You did?
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm like, why would it be expired? It just made it. It's not. Shouldn't be expired. Hi, little boy. So cute. Okay, well, if you guys don't have any more questions, I can let you go. But thanks for hopping on. It's always nice to be able to like look at faces when I'm talking to you guys and read expressions or try to read expressions. So I'm thinking we'll stick with Thursdays. I think Thursdays are going to work best for me. I was thinking Wednesdays initially, but I think with launch day, it's kind of crazy to do Wednesday calls. So next Thursday, and then probably take the 30th off. So is there any topics that you guys are struggling with that you would like to go over next week on a call? And I can throw it out there too, an inspiration, or we can think about it.
One other tip. I'm doing an Instagram story, so it reminded me. I put it in something once, but if you hold down the color and like slide your finger up, you can like customize the color, so you're not stuck with whatever the preset colors are when you go to like change the text color.
That's cool.
I found it out by accident one day.
I'm going to try it. Hold on. So you just hold your finger down? Oh, wait.
Like you hold your finger on one of the colors and then just like slide it up and the whole rainbow should open up.
Like that. That's cool. That's awesome. all the things. There's so many little things to all these social media.
Those are the little things that give me joy.
I know, right? They're the best. All right. Well, I hope you guys have a great night. Yes, seriously, so cute. Thanks for hopping on. And if you need anything, let me know or reach out to your upline, and we're here to help. So let's make the end of May awesome, because beginning of May has been pretty darn good, you guys. I'm like crazy impressed with you guys. Our team is so awesome. We have the best team ever. Okay. Talk to you later. Bye.